U.S. Army awards $1 million contract for 15 eBee Vision drones. The U.S. Army awarded a contract to German drone distributor DRONIVO GmbH on April 2, 2026, for 15 Eagle NXT eBee Vision small unmanned aerial systems, 6 ground control stations, and a pilot training package to equip the 2nd Cavalry Regiment ahead of the Saber Strike 26 exercise. The contract, valued at €870,810, approximately $1 million, was awarded under urgent and compelling circumstances, bypassing standard competitive procedures to meet a hard operational deadline. The award was executed by the 409th Contracting Support Brigade's 928th Contracting Battalion, Regional Contracting Office Bavaria, and funded with Army operations and maintenance funds. DRONIVO GmbH, headquartered at Jolinstrasse 2 in Ludwigshafen, Germany, holds exclusive dealer and distributor rights for eBee Vision systems within Germany, a status formally confirmed in writing by Stephen D. Matthias, Vice President of Global Sales and Business Development at Eagle NXT, the system's manufacturer. That exclusive arrangement made DRONIVO the only vendor capable of delivering the required systems within the mission's critical timeline. The 2nd Cavalry Regiment needed the specific performance characteristics of the eBee Vision, not a comparable system, and the exercise start date of April 23, 2026, left no room for the 4 to 5 month export licensing delays quoted by every other vendor capable of sourcing the system. Under those circumstances, the government found that only DRONIVO, operating within Germany and holding authorized dealer status, could bridge the gap. The eBee Vision is a fixed-wing small UAS designed for medium-range reconnaissance, what the Army classifies as a medium-range reconnaissance, or MRR, mission set. The platform offers at least 90 minutes of flight endurance and a range of 15 to 40 kilometers, putting it in a significantly different performance category than the short-range first-person view drones that have dominated battlefield coverage in recent conflicts. It carries electro-optical, infrared, and thermal imaging payloads, with an optional electronic warfare collection capability. The system operates on non-PRC encrypted radio frequencies 900 MHz and 2.4 GHz and is portable enough to be fielded by a team of 3 soldiers, with a per-unit cost ceiling of $50,000. Critically for Army acquisition purposes, the eBee Vision is compliant with the Defense Innovation Unit's Blue UAS framework and meets National Defense Authorization Act requirements, meaning it contains no components of Chinese origin and satisfies the strict cybersecurity and supply chain vetting standards the Pentagon has imposed across its unmanned systems portfolio. The document notes that the system's development incorporated direct input from real-world combat experience, including testing of prototypes under battlefield conditions in Ukraine, a detail that has become a recurring selling point among European drone manufacturers competing for NATO military contracts. The Army's market research, conducted through the Simplified Acquisition Threshold Supply Procurement Program, turned up no viable alternatives. Vantage Robotics offered the Vesper drone, which the requiring activity determined did not meet the salient technical characteristics required for the MRR mission. The Astromax SUAS, a shorter-range quadcopter, was assessed as suitable only for short-range reconnaissance and therefore inadequate for the fixed-wing MRR requirement. A Skydio drone was offered by another vendor, but is prohibited from purchase with operations and maintenance funds, removing it from consideration entirely. No other source expressed interest or demonstrated the ability to deliver within the required timeline. The procurement fills what the justification document describes as an intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance gap between the short-range FPV drones already common at the company and battalion level and the heavier brigade-level ISR assets the Army fields on a more limited basis. The eBee Vision is designed to occupy the middle ground, capable enough to support medium-range reconnaissance tasks, yet light and simple enough to be managed by a small crew without dedicated aviation support infrastructure. The contract package includes 10 pilot training sessions provided by DRONIVO, along with associated instruction and training materials, ensuring that 2nd Cavalry Regiment personnel are prepared to operate the systems immediately upon delivery. The 2nd Cavalry Regiment, based at Rose Barracks in Vilseck, Germany, is one of the U.S. Army's premier armored units in Europe and has been a consistent participant in major NATO exercises across the continent. Saber Strike is a recurring U.S. Army Europe and Africa exercise series focused on interoperability among NATO allies across the Baltic region and Central Europe. The exercise places significant demands on reconnaissance and situational awareness capabilities, particularly for ground maneuver units operating across contested terrain where persistent aerial surveillance is essential to mission success. The urgency of the eBee Vision procurement reflects how acutely frontline Army units in Europe have come to depend on small UES for battlefield awareness, a lesson drawn directly from observing the war in Ukraine.